Good day everyone. My name is Maria Teresa Macaya. BSB ito, Media and Marketing Management, handled by Sir Herminio Cabusod Jr. So today, I will be discussing Chapter 3, the characteristic of salespeople. But before that, there is an introduction first. Introduction. Many sales management problems could be eliminated or at least mitigated if a successful sales type could be found. This would be imply that successful salespeople are born have acquired the necessary skills or possibly have been self-taught by experience. In this chapter, the aim is to review previous work on the desirable characteristic of salespeople, to separate reality from myth in the ideal sales type, to identify personality, knowledge, and skills required in different selling job, to evaluate the status, position, and role conflicts inherent in sales jobs, to make assessment of the key determinant in higher sales performers. So the next is the salesperson. The salesperson, remember, sales situations are in some ways unique. The various role conflicts, tasks, and varieties of situations which can occur required some adaptability by individual to any list of principles of selling which may be put forward. Not least, the problem of the measurement of personality and psychological traits is complex. The nature of the job, new business versus service calling, transactions versus relationship selling, may mean that entirely different characteristics are needed to be effective in different situations. The view here in that unidimensional approach will be inadequate, and better explanation have yet to be found between the fit of certain jobs and personality of individuals and vice versa. The next is attribute of salesperson. In attributes of salespeople, there are some kinds of attributes. One is personality and physical characteristics. Personality and physical characteristics. Personality is the sum total of all the behavioral, and mental characteristic by means of which an individual is recognized and being unique. The second is enthusiasm. Salespeople must be enthusiastic about the job, their product, their company, and themselves. Next is confidence. Confidence, those people who possess higher level of self-confidence are more likely to enjoy selling and be successful. By itself, confidence is not enough. By belief in one's own ability and belief in the product and the company are can be the buyers with positive effect. Next is intelligence. Intelligence, while there will be some desirable minimum level of intelligence required for selling, there appears to be no evidence to suggest that higher level of intelligence correlate with higher levels of sales performance. Next is self-worth. Self-worth, the ability and desire to be motivated by non-pecuniary incentives such as status, self-esteem, and sociability seem to play a part in effective selling. And the next is knowledge. Knowledge, the problem of trying to classify salespeople according to a prescribed list of necessary and desirable attributes has already been referred to, especially when a range of different situations may demand very different solutions. Next is product knowledge. A product knowledge, a product can be defined as a bundle of physical and psychological attributes which are capable of providing buyer satisfaction, be it a tangible good or service. Next is competitors. Competitors combined with a part of product knowledge must be must be a detailed knowledge of competitors' products. In addition, salespeople must know and understand their competitors' sales policies, organization, pricing, and promotion tracks. Next is market knowledge. In market knowledge, it is a senior management responsibility to decide marketing strategy and policies of market segmentation, product positioning, and weighting given to individual elements in the marketing mix. But the individual salesperson should have the ability to understand and translate the application of marketing effort to individual customers and circumstances. So the next is customer knowledge. Customer knowledge, equally vital for the salesperson, is the ability to develop and maintain ongoing customers relationships. Next is territory knowledge. Territory knowledge. Good territory knowledge is also important in effective selling. The requires management skill by the individual in the efficient allocation of time between customers, prospects, and traveling. Next is company. Salespeople should have an adequate knowledge of their own company, including its history, ownership, direction, and aspiration of the owner. Next is skills. Skills are combination of factors, personality, and knowledge contribute of this which can be used to practice the job more effectively. Next is communication skills. Communication skills, personal selling combines with advertising and promotion to form a communication link between seller, intermediaries, and end users. Next is matching skills. Matching skills, the characteristics and skills required will be those which match the role to be performed and the tasks which must be undertaken. Next is persuade skills. Perceive skills, understanding the communication process and the ability, appreciate importance of matching the benefit of seller to the need of buyer are necessary but not sufficient condition to complete the sales process. So these are the kinds of attributes. So next is status of salespeople. Status of salespeople, one aspect of selling that is of concern to sales manager is the status of salespeople. Status is the relative standing of a person in a group and is measured by the prestige and esteem real of or perceived that a person enjoy with associates. So next is Mason suggested. In Mason suggested, there are 5 criteria relevant to job status. So number 1 is white collar versus blue collar. So white collar versus blue collar, there has been an unrelenting trend since the Second World War of a growth in the number of non-manual over manual workers. Next is income. Income, cursory reviews of the employment feeds suggest that some selling jobs potentially pay very well, higher income levels generally but not always equate higher status. So the next is freedom of action. Freedom of action, another status related aspect in the extent to which the job merits freedom of actions. So number 4 is education and training. So education and training, sales managers are generally better educated than first-line production supervisors but not as well educated as marketing personnel of accountancy managers. The last one is power. So power is another dimension of this limit to freedom is the power of degree of authority vested in the job. Salespeople will feel in esteem with customers if they have no power, no negotiate price of influence, credit or service levels. These are the 5 Mason suggested criteria relevant to job status. So next is role conflict. The role conflict, the sales manager primary task is to manage salespeople rather than sales. Since most sales managers are promoted from the ranks, they have an appreciation of the variety of problems that salespeople face. However, different attributes are now required for the management role, where key characteristic of good sales managers such as a leader and motivators should now take precedence over selling skills. Some find this transition easier than others. Personal selling involves conflict relationships with role partners. So in this chapter, there is summary. Summary, the findings on the characteristics of successful salespeople are inclusive. A priority list of desirable traits is frequently put forward, but evidence of their worth is questionable. The best salespeople are those with the highest level of product knowledge and the best communication skills, who understand their customers. In many cases, the ability to create the build lasting relationship with customers is a source of competitive advantage for that firm. The advice to sales manager is to recruit people who have the required orientation and skills or can be trained to be proficient. This is not the same as traits, intelligence, experience, age, sex, color, or any other similar factor. It is adequate intelligence, empathy, and enthusiasm which are more important. So that's all, and God bless.